The United States and Iran are both backing Kurdish fighters in Iraq who've retaken some ground near the Syrian border, with help from coalition airstrikes against Islamic State fighters who are also known as Daesh. Meeting with Arab allies, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry said there's broad support for the fight.
Every country in the region is opposed to Daesh, without exception. And whether it's Iran or Lebanon or Syria itself or Turkey or Iraq, Saudi Arabia, the Gulf states, they're all opposed.
But in Syria itself, it's less clear whom best to back against the Islamic State.
Iran faces a very difficult calculation about exactly what its interests are, just as the United States does.
Georgetown University professor Nora Ben-Sahel says Washington and Tehran are both sorting through a broad mix of on-the-ground forces.
The problem is that in Syria, everything is so interconnected that it's not as simple as the enemy of my enemy is my friend. The enemy of my enemy might still be my enemy on a whole lot of other things.
The Obama administration is determined to keep its contacts with Tehran focused on rolling back its nuclear program. But there have been direct talks on Syria and the Islamic State. Iranian National Security Council Director Ali Shamkhani says Tehran stands steadfast against more direct foreign intervention.
There will not be an intention of a ground intervention because they failed in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we oppose any foreign intervention in the region by these states.
Tehran will not allow the fight against the Islamic State to weaken Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, says American University professor Akbar Ahmed.
Iran has a very aggressive foreign policy. It's not going to just allow events to take place without having a say in them or attempting a say in them.
U.S. officials say one area of agreement with Iran is the fight for Kobani, where there are no Syrian government forces, and both Washington and Tehran support the Kurdish opposition. Scott Stearns, VOA News at the State Department.